Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, Thursday night football, we start off the season in the NFL, and I am going to deliver here the second part of the ranking for the 2024 starting quarterbacks. Last night, I delivered number 32 to number 18, and I'm going to just go back quickly to those names to refresh any memories. Number 32, Gardner Minshew from the Las Vegas Raiders. Number 31, Bo Nix from the Denver Broncos. Number 30, Will Levis from the Tennessee Titans. Number 29, Jacoby Brissett from the New England Patriots. Number 28, Sam Darnold from the Minnesota Vikings. Number 27, Bryce Young from the Carolina Panthers. Number 26, Daniel Jones from the New York Giants. Number 25, Kyler Murray from the Arizona Cardinals. Number 24, Derek Carr from the New Orleans Saints. Number 23, Baker Mayfield from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 22, Geno Smith from the Seattle Seahawks. Number 21, Russell Wilson from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 20, Anthony Richardson from the Indianapolis Colts. Number 19, Deshaun Watson from the Cleveland Browns. And number 18, and our last entry from last night, Kirk Cousins from the Atlanta Falcons. Now, we already named all of the NFC South quarterbacks. Number 1 in the NFC South is Kirk Cousins. Number 2, Baker Mayfield. Number 3, Derek Carr. And number 4, Bryce Young. So this division is basically the one that is tighter in quarterback ranking, according to my list, and should make for some interesting games in between them. Of course, defenses play a part in this, so this is only the quarterbacks that we're ranking. We're not ranking those teams. So I'm not saying the Las Vegas Raiders are the 32nd team in the National Football League, but most offenses go as their quarterback goes. So let's see just how this turns out to play for. And without any further ado, number 17 from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor has had some up and downs in his career. The game he came back from against the Chargers was obviously a highlight. And let's just see how he fares in the AFC South. He's actually a really good quarterback. I think he has some real upside on his play. Unfortunately, results haven't gone his way, I would say. He's got a good coach in place as well, so he should be trending upwards. I'm not yet inclined to move him up on the list just because we haven't seen much from him when time matters, right? Number 16, Matthew Stafford from the LA Rams. Now, Stafford has a Super Bowl ring already, but we saw some decline in his play, and I think he should be right around this spot in the league, simply because he's on a declining rate, and age is playing a factor in, obviously, and he's not as Super Bowl caliber as an Aaron Rodgers, for example, or a Tom Brady was in his prime and his later years as well. So I think Stafford fits just right well here on number 16, and I mean, he's got a great entourage in Cooper Cup, and I guess that will play into his favor, of course. But let's see just how he fares this year as well. Number 15, Jordan Love from the Green Bay Packers. Now, Love had a really good second half of the season last year. If he maintains that level, he should be a top 10 quarterback. No question asked. But let's just see how he plays out. And I think this year, without such a comfortable, I would say, running back position in the Packers because they let go Aaron Jones, I think he's gonna have some more work to do this year, and that could prove actually beneficial to his stock value because he's probably going to be trending upward. He's a guy that has been in the league already for a few years and has been a starting quarterback, and I think he's going to succeed on that regard. Number 14, a rookie, Jaden Daniels. Now, Daniels from the Washington Commanders, I really believe he's going to excel. Most people have him further down the list, I'm sure about that. But I believe he has the quality and the coach. Most importantly, I would say the coach, because Dan Quinn and his staff will make wonders for this kid. And I do believe that. I actually believe he can upset in the first week and actually win the game. So let's see how the Washington Commanders fare with Daniels at the helm. I really do think the Commanders could be a black horse this year. Most people don't have them in their agenda, but Dan Quinn has a long list of things he has wanted to do since he left Atlanta as a head coach. So I think he's going to take care of this opportunity this year and make sure he does something about that. And Daniels is basically a key factor into that. Number 13, another rookie, Caleb Williams from the Chicago Bears. And now Williams has been touted as the savior for the Bears. How many times have we heard that? A lot. How many times has it come true? None. Yet. So let's see how he does. He should be in a really good position based on his division. He's the second ranked quarterback in his division. So let's see how that plays out. Number 12, Aaron Rodgers from the New York Jets. And yes, Aaron should probably be higher on this list. Now, he didn't play more than 4 snaps last year. So Aaron has a lot of things to catch up on. There's been some controversy as to if he can play at the same level that he was playing in Green Bay at his MVP caliber level. He's a really good quarterback. I have no doubt about that. He's got a good team, got a good running back to help him out, and he should be just fine. I'm not sure though that his skills are at the same level that they were 2 years or 3 years ago, if we would like to talk about that, and that will play out. And Aaron tends to get frustrated when things don't go his way, and I see a lot of frustration coming on his Jet pathway. So I think frustration is one of the key factors that Rodgers is in number 12 on my list, because that generally plays out to how he fares in a game. So take a look at that once you see him in action this weekend. Number 11, Tua Tagovailoa from the Miami Dolphins. And Tua has had some injury concerns, has had some concussion concerns. We've seen him rattled, and that's, I think, one of the things in his mind. The clock is ticking when the snap goes. So that ticking clock sometimes is good, sometimes is bad for quarterbacks. In his case, I think it's bad. And now we've seen him put up a bunch of points, a bunch of touchdowns, and he's a really good player. But in the end, in pressure moments, I think he's going to feel that clock ticking, and that generally leads to bad decisions or misfires, and that leads to interceptions, and that leads to problems in the field, and then obviously everything can pile up, So Tua has to take care of those issues, and I think if he does, the Miami Dolphins could be a potential problem to a lot of teams. They have a division that is obviously very fought for. So you have the Bills, you have the Jets, you have the Patriots. The Patriots are kind of in a rebuilding mode, so I think Tua can take care of that. But never count out the other teams, and I think he needs his skill set to be at a top level, and if his mindset is not correct, he's going to have a lot of trouble with that. I think his coach has helped him with the mindset. He talked about Brian Flores a couple of weeks ago and how he has evolved from that. So I believe that Tua could be on another pathway this year. He could be on another mindset this year. Let's just see. According to what we've seen, he's number 11 on this list. Number 10, Jared Goff from the Detroit Lions. Now, Goff had an excellent year last year, and actually, he was a step away from the Super Bowl. So he should be on a really, really good campaign this year. He has never been the talked about figure in the Detroit Lions. So you always hear about the running backs or the wide receivers or the tight ends, but Goff is never the piece that is missing. So that's kind of like a focus to him being in number 10, and you'll see the ones that are on top, and you can already imagine them if you've been following the list. So I think Goff is on a really good spot here in number 10. Number 9, Justin Herbert from the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, if there's one thing that Herbert will benefit from this year, is his coach. So Harbaugh is going to be really tough on him. He's going to be really, really, really a mentor for him this year. I believe that he'll be able to succeed in his encounters this season. I believe Herbert has everything he wants to succeed. It's just a matter of making the plays when they count, and making sure there's actually a management to his quarterback style. He's been a really good quarterback, but has been unable to manage certain places of the match that have played in his probabilities to win matches. So I think that is something that he wants to take care of, and he'll have to take care of that in 2024, definitely. Number 8, Brock Purdy from the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Brock Purdy, we all know the story. Last pick, great to come in and to work and to make the San Francisco 49ers a contender every time he places the ball in his hands. So, Brock is a good manager, I think, a good managing quarterback. He can make plays. He can make defenses pay. And I think that is one of the main reasons he's so high on this list, even though he's not won a Super Bowl, even though he's been shy of finishing the job. He's got a great entourage in Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. So let's see how he goes, and I think Brock is only going to trend upward. He's a guy that's still developing and will keep developing as a better quarterback year by year. Number 7, last year's sensation, C.J. Stroud from the Houston Texans. And C.J. Stroud is definitely a guy that will try to build on his last season. CJ Stroud wants to win, wants to keep going, wants to keep growing, and he is actually going to be somebody to look after in the next couple of years. And he's somebody that with his playing style resembles a lot of Patrick Mahomes, a lot of Lamar Jackson as well. Let's see how he can turn those skills into assets, into plays, into wins for the Texans. He's got better players this year in wide receiving, and let's see how he can take advantage of that. Number 6, and this was actually a difficult pick to make because I was between 5 and 6. I was really, really, really close on this too. Number 6 is Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Dak was on the MVP running last year. He's been a great quarterback for the Cowboys in the regular season, not so much in the playoffs. And that is exactly what played into him being number 6 and not number 5. Now, Dak is up for a contract renewal. We all know that when quarterbacks are up for contract renewals, they play an MVP caliber season. He's going to have a tough time this year with the whole team. At the end, the Cowboys are not the same Cowboys as last year, but I think he'll manage, and he's a good quarterback, and that's why he's number 6. But he needs to show that MVP level again, and he needs to show that he can work in the playoffs as much as he can, and some wins in the playoffs will help his stock value rise. I think number 6 is fitting at the moment, and he's a good quarterback for the list as well. Number 5, Dak's rival, Jalen Hurts from the Philadelphia Eagles. And so Jalen is the number 1 ranked NFC East quarterback, followed by Dak, obviously. Then Jaden Daniels at number 14 is number 3, and last, Daniel Jones at number 26. So those are the NFC East quarterbacks. And now Jalen, been to a Super Bowl, played some great football, has been helped by his running game, helped by the touch push. So I think he's going to be having one of those years in which he has to prove himself as well. The Eagles did not have a great season last season, even though the numbers say otherwise. They collapsed, and that's a reality. We knew that coming in. I think it was week 7 or 8 we started to see that the wins came coming, and I'm sorry, kept coming, and so that masqueraded a little bit of what was really happening with the Eagles. But if you looked closely at every win, you could see that the Eagles were not the same Eagles as before, and you could see that they were not that winning team that needed to pound on the rival and needed to crush the end zone. Hurts probably wants to turn that around this year. He needs to, because it is not easy to keep the level of play that they had before. They lost one of the centerpieces in Kelsey at center. So that's going to be some adjustment for the Eagles and for Hurts particularly. So we're probably going to be able to see his skill set much more refined this year, and he's probably been working at that during the whole off season. We'll see that on Friday. Number 4, Joe Burrow from the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is kind of that guy that excelled during a great season and then tried to do the same. Injuries didn't let him. But Joe, I think, is one of the few quarterbacks, probably the 4 that are at the top of this list are probably going to be in the same scale. But these are quarterbacks that are here to stay and that will make history and that will probably be in the Hall of Fame in the future. So Joe just needs to stay injury free, and that way he'll make his team work around him. I think he's a good quarterback, and number 4 is fitting because the 3 on the top are real monsters in this game. And so number 3, Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen for Buffalo, he's been error prone on some games, specifically against Patrick Mahomes. Josh, I think, could be kind of on a prove-it season, because this season for the Bills is going to be pretty demanding, and Josh needs to make good use of his arsenal in order to make sure that his team can go the right way offensively. So that's going to be a really interesting thing to see and to watch for in this particular season. Number 2, playing tonight away against the Kansas City Chiefs, is Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens. And so Lamar is number 2 on this list simply because Patrick Mahomes is number 1. These 2 guys are really spectacular. And I think it's going to be a joy to watch this game tonight, and I think the Chiefs and the Ravens are two teams that are going to be contending for the last spot in the Super Bowl in the AFC, and I believe this probably will be an epic matchup that could resemble an AFC Championship game. So it's going to be a joy to watch, and they have all the weapons that they need, both of them. It's really just a question of Super Bowls as to which one is number one and which one is number two. And Mahomes and his skill set are just mindset as well. I would say are just stupendous. I mean, he does everything how he wants it to be done. He has a great support system in Kelsey and Pacheco, and I think he's going to make sure that he uses all of his arsenal all of the time. And that is what makes him special, truly, truly special. Mahomes really at number one is a no-brainer, and he should be there for years to come, barring any injuries. And let's see how he does. So thank you for watching. Thank you for going through the list with me. It's a very unique list by myself. Probably very similar to some that you've seen at ESPN or something like that. I did not take any of that into account for this. I just literally ranked them myself. So let's see, and obviously I'd love to hear some comments on you guys with regards to the list, and let's start. Good luck to everybody, and have a great day.